Floyd Bocox, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris, for having me on. This is going to be
So, I'd
great.
like to get into a little background because you have really such a fascinating life and everything that you do, but kind of take me along the route of, say, graduating from high school or to where you're at now. What was that path like?
Oh, yeah, my background's really diversified. Done a lot of stuff, but um, regards to the childhood, or pretty much in that part was being brought up in San Pedro. And my family been there since 1907. I've been surrounded by music. That's what happened. My mom was a professional singer for Mickey Carr. And
Oh,
my father played the guitar, and so they had a trio where they all would go together. My mom would sing, and that my father and his brothers, my uncles were also performing. So it was in that era. It was so good, and being brought up to that part, and then my mom got into acting, and being there on stage with her also. So I was kind of like driven when I was a child to get into this. It was just rubbed on me in that part. But being raised in San Pedro, roughly around 15, 16, I got into surfing. I love surfing. Been surfing pretty much all my life. That really took control of my life. It kept me steady and calm, and just being in the ocean and stuff. I had my own friends, we had our own group. It was a social, tight knit of friends in San Pedro. San Pedro has changed now. Since back in the day, everybody knew everybody. So it's just a small town. And so yeah, that now is just completely changed. So that part, yeah, I have great memories there though, for sure. Just growing up, and me, my sister, we did go to a Catholic school since first grade, Mary Star. So that was indoctrinated into us. Yeah, what I mean, but I have no problems with it. Kind of gave you great morals and values about family life and stuff. You know what I mean? That was important. And my boys also had them going to Mary Star and Holy Trinity Catholic schools also. There was some kind of a substance background for them.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my life during the teenagers, just circling all the time, traveling to San Diego, up north, also surfing up there, surf big waves. I was about, 19 years old then, and then started a family. I became a family man, had a full-time job, raising kids, and that was just a great experience for me, just getting up into surfing also, Morrison Land, traveling and taking them to Mexico. And I had a home down by Rosarito Beach too.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. We used to take them down there. We'd be gone for a couple weeks at a time, surfing and stuff. But that was the good times with them too. They still surfing with me.
Nice.
Right? So yeah, that's kind of me, Chris, just being a family man. That's my thing, what I mean? Just being with them and the wife. Yeah, that was kind of my deal there, is starting off young, and the
Makes
entrepreneur
sense.
and all that stuff didn't come until later on in the after and later on down the road, when I started getting into the business part, you know what I mean?
So tell me about working with Cliff Morrison and especially getting into the book because that fascinates me.
Yeah, the book is unbelievable, where I had coverage on the book, and I had a screenplay also from a WG writer, wrote it up for Belinda Stanley. And the book was just like, whoa, we just like, this is such a fascinating story. This book is just like, nonstop. And I go, oh, well, all right, that's good. We have good, reviews on it. Being sold on Barnes and Noble, Walmart, Target, Amazon Prime, all the networks there. That's done for that. But yeah, yeah, that was something that I went through with Cliff. Previously, before Cliff, I started Floyd Records. That was my. Let me take you back, Chris.
Yeah,
Comes to the
please.
business part now. I was in my I'm on my mid to late 30s, and I used to work for Atlantic Richfield, which was called Arco Refinery. I think it was for like 8 years, but to me, I just didn't want to work there anymore. The rotating shifts, swing, week, graveyard next week, days next week. It was just like wearing me down. Like, I got to get out of this place. So then from there, I started flying helicopters. I started going to Torrance Airport, learning how to fly off their day shift. And that's how I was able to get my private license. It took me about a year. And then the next, go into my commercial license. From there, that's when I purchased my helicopter and started my own helicopter business, flying for the here at Los Angeles port, right there in LA Harbor, where all the container ships and stuff come in. I did that for about 8 years, flying helicopters, and then I had the kids there working with me at the booth and take care of the guests and all that stuff, and I had two contracts with the RV department, Long Beach and also LA. So we had that going on too. But clothing business too. We had a clothing business also. We had 60 stores that we were wholesaling to. We had that also going. Yeah, it was. We had a
Dang.
revenue part. So we got into that part too. So it's kind of that part was a family business too. But after that, then things didn't go right. Didn't wind up getting a divorce. So from there, I grabbed the boys and took them with me, kind of raised them up on my own. Started moving forward. Took a break. I took a break from everything. Sold my helicopter business and everything. Interesting story for you, Chris, is that I was living behind the gates up in Rancho Palos Verdes, and there was a well-to-do family that came from New York City, and her name was Ellen Vanderlip. Her husband was one of the Vanderlips as the banking broker, and they moved back in the 1900s. They moved over here, and they brought a lot of land over by the ocean. And so from there, they were a very influential family. I heard about, but I really didn't know them that well. Well, through my divorce, but one of my friends says, "Hey, why don't you go move up there, and get out of San Pedro, but you won't be too far away, maybe 10, 15 minutes away." So I said, all right, let me take a look. And I went back there behind the gates, and there's a private community back there where roughly she had her mansion there, and it's like a compound. And she must have had probably about 8 homes surrounding the compound. And then there was like maybe a security gate that you would come in and out. So I kind of liked it. It was different. The horses are back there. You're in a whole different country type of setting, living there. And I really liked that. So I said, all right. So I moved back there and brought the boys with me. And from there, it was just like, all right, get to know Mrs. Vanderlip and her family. She's got 2 daughters and a son and stuff, but they're very well to do. So anyway, she asked me, Floyd, do you want to go to Paris with me? That's something interesting that she told me that she started this whole thing about 20 years ago. And it's called the Friends of French Art. And I didn't know about royalty that much, but I said, I said, yeah, this would be a great experience to go. I was gone for a month. So I asked my mom, hey, will you watch the kids for me while I go? She goes, yeah, son, this is an opportunity to see how it is over there in Paris, France. So, all right, so I didn't know, but every day we had to wear a suit and tie, dressed, and all that stuff. And then when we got there, it was just like royalty. Where I didn't, regular people didn't live like this, but they did. And so she was supplied with a brand new triple decker bus.
Oh man.
There was 30 of us in this party that we all went. So I we were going to chateaus, to Moet Chardon Chateau, Long Perrier Chateau. Then at one time we even got to go to the embassy and meet Pamela Harriman, our ambassador that was appointed by Bill Clinton. So
Oh man.
and there with her and having meetings with her, or at least President Kennedy at one time sat at this one office in there. So yeah, that just stayed with me, Chris. Just like seeing duchesses and princesses, you know what I mean? Never seen
Oh,
that. Yeah, it's an experience. And then
wow.
Davis, they had their own photographer and everything, and just like taking pictures and putting a whole book together for us for our memories. You know what I mean? It was just like wow. So that was a good experience for me. I was going through it, being by myself, raising the kids, seeing that part of a different lifestyle. And then from there, I came back. Lived in, I was talking to my friend, and who was also had a business down there at Fort College. He's going through a divorce too. He goes, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." He said, "Well, about let's do a production company music." I go, "Well, let's start our own label." And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Yeah." So we started Floyd Records. So that's how I went, Chris. Yeah, it was a trip. And so for him, he was living in San Juan. I'm living in San Pedro. And he went out his own town car. And then from there, then he's getting into the mix with some other folks down in that area with Morrison Weber. And so there's a woman there, her name's Nicole David. She represents Whitney Houston, J-Lo, uh, Patrick Swayze. She's got a variety of clients, but he became good friends with her, and he used to pick up this guy who was Whitney Houston's agent at the time at coming flying from New York. And he picked him up and put him back in the car, and then they started talking and all that. That's how they met. I think Sheldon, that's what his name was. And so from there, she would ask Tony, that's the individual I was talking about, my partner, "Did you help my husband get into business?" He goes, "Well, let me talk to Floyd, let me see." So I find out his name is Brian Barraff. Nice guy, married and all that. Brian was an attorney, entertainment attorney. He didn't like it, got out of it. Then he got into writing songs, and then he got out of it. Then he ran for DA, I believe, Beverly Hills. He did. So
Oh
uh,
man.
his wife wanted him to do something, you know. So I took him on as a producer, and then from there, we created Floyd Records with a four all-girl band type thing. Yeah, so we had to go through the auditions and all that stuff. And thank God we had Nicole David because she brought the best musicians and songwriters onto this whole project. And my God, my mom at the time was still alive, and I remember taking her to the studio at Cherokee Studios, a really well-known studio where the Beatles and some other famous artists, do the recording there. And so at the time, Nicole David brought in the musicians, and they're all Whitney Houston fan members. And then from there, the songwriters were like, we had a couple of great songwriters that were credited for. Off the top of my head, I have to go through my notes, but it's been a while for that project. But it turned out great. Lemon Gentleman's, we had a composer there also, and he was great too. He was able to get this live performance of an orchestra from South Central LA orchestration to come into the studio. And that was just unbelievable. Him conducting the whole, thing there was just like, wow. My mom was just amazed at what we put this whole production together. And it turned out was a fabulous. We had it mastered at Capitol Records and, that part. And Bug, some of the girls there, all four girls together, they started fighting all that. Then one decided to leave, the other one decided to leave. So kind of just everything went down. I'm like, all right. So we took a break for a while, and then, well, like a couple years, I took a break again. I went back, just took a time out for a while. There, yeah, I was approached again by Cliff Morrison out for to go to that one. Was that a friend of mine from my school from Mary Star, her son was the keyboardist. They were trying to get me to get involved with this. I said, well, let me take a look at this. See, so the band came to my house, I had a big old home, and they performed. But before they performed, I had Nicole David and Brian Graff there. I wanted to get her opinion because she's very good at what she does. And so after Cliff performed with the band, Nicole grabs me, pulls me on the side, and she goes, "Wow, he sounds like Jim Morrison." I said, "No, that's what I think. Is he Jim's son?" And I said, "Well, I mean, oh, what information and what I took a look at in his past was that he even had Jim Morrison's brother-in-law, Alan Graham, who was married to Jim's sister, Anna, was also promoting Cliff and stating on national TV that he walks and talks like Jim, has the manners of the grandfather, the admiral. So to me, that kind of like, solidified the deal. Like, all right, you got Alan Graham saying he's without the DNA testing, and everybody, and this is a worldwide topic on the fans. Like, God, he sounds just like Jim. So Nicole told me, sign him up, Floyd. I said, all right. So that's when I signed Cliff up, and I created a new corporation, a C Corp, called Lizard Sun Entertainment. So that's how that was beginning, was the Lizard King. And so this is
Yep.
what Cliff wanted to do, was like, oh, okay, all right, let's do this. So, and it was a whole new band that I had to put together, all from San Pedro. So I did the audition for Cliff, and we had a few fights in the studio. We tried to break them up and all that, but after so, we put it all together, new band members, Chris, and from there, they're all from San Pedro, and the majority of them are all longshoremen. So they all work down at the docks. So I kind of got a rough crew with me working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good though, And, probably took about 4 months to get them in the studio, rehearsing almost every other day, getting it tight, all that stuff. Finally, the music and everything was coming around, and they were starting to sound good. So now it's time to introduce Cliff Morrison and the Lizard Sun Band at the band show. Now, this is huge. This is the big event. So what happened was, all right, I put it all together, film crews, got a stage, got that all ready for them, limos, all that, and here we come with our entourage coming there, and it was packed. And true story, Chris, I got to tell you about this. Before I did this, though, this is really a real true story. That on KLOS FM is a major radio station in Los Angeles. So I took an ad out there and paid for this music to be played on the radio station there. And it was just like, okay, everybody, you want to see Cliff Morrison? You come to the band show, and, he's going to be there. The radio station and the band show was so many phone calls. Is that Jim Morrison? And then his music and everything. And then the guy in part of management at the band show said, shut that down, Floyd. We're getting so many calls. We had over 60,000 phone calls in a certain amount of weeks. Oh my God. Okay. So, finally, I just, shut it down on that part. But some major people got involved in, I don't want to mention their names, but they know, that they went ahead and got a hold of KLOS. And I had a written agreement, contractual agreement with them, and they actually had them stop playing this. They didn't want Cliff to come up or come up into the ranks in the music part. So I kind of just dealt with that. Like, all right, so anyway, we move on forward. We went to the next show, and it was packed. Everybody's there. And it was a great performance, and he did a great job and everything. And then the interviews previously, they're on YouTube and all that. Some great interviews too, about Cliff, asking about Jim Morrison, your father, and Cliff had some great responses about the DNA stuff. So it was all positive. And then after that, we left, and then we went back and we started going performing at downtown LA and Hollywood, doing all the club scenes that he wanted to do and stuff. Then let's see, God, Chris, one part was that Nicole David called me up. We were on down, and she was, Floyd, come out to my house. I want to talk to you. And I said, okay. And so I went to the house there in Rainy Del Rey. Nice home in the canal. And it was Floyd. I'm talking about Cliff and his stepmom Lorraine. What's going on? She goes, well, I want to give you $1 million up front. This, I'll get you a literary agent, publishing deal. Well, okay. Wow, that's good news. And I go, Nicole, can I have a reality show? And she goes, yeah, Floyd, you can have that. I said, oh, thank you. I was so happy to have my assistant with me. We're driving back home in the Mercedes, and like I get back in the office. I got all the band members there, everything. And so I told everybody, I got good news for you. Like I said, Lorraine, I got you a trade contract. You got $1 million up front, money, book deal, literary agent, publishing deal. I got a reality show for the band. The band goes, yay! All right, we're good. And then Lorraine says, no, I'm not doing it. What? I worked so hard to get this band whole thing to where it needed to go, and I did my job, as far as getting it to where it needed to go. And she said no. And so for the past, say, a year, I had him living in one of my homes. And by the ocean, I had a few homes. And from there, I was paying mortgages, all that stuff. I didn't mind, because I thought this whole thing's going to come out to a great outcome for everybody. That was my intent, so for sure. And then after that, I said, you sure about that? Because, this is not good. I worked so hard to do this, and then you're going to do this? She goes, yeah. I said, okay, then. I'm going to shut down Lizard Sun Entertainment. You guys are going to have to move out of the home. And that's it. We're done. Nobody does this to me, as far as what I've done. So, okay. I had to hire an attorney from there. From there, he took him to court. With kind of didn't want to go to the court because he felt bad about the Lorraine. That I would have to go after her. It's just her on. But finally, the judge went in my court and said, okay, you want to go. Okay, I have 30-day notice. No. I've given you like 10 days. It would be cool to go. And so after that, they left. And Lizard Sun Entertainment, the backpackers, everything just went fall down. I was it. Okay, so I have a friend of mine who's a priest. And I am kind of religion. I am religious, first of all. Get a little bit fucked up. And so I went to my home that Cliff and Lorraine were living in. This is part of it in the book. And take a look at everything inside. I go downstairs into the other area where Cliff was living down below. Ocean view and all that. I go into the bathroom and I see on the toilet seat that a pentagram was
Oh,
inscribed on the toilet seat, etched in there. I go, what the heck is this? Then my priest looks at me and goes, that's the Satanism right there. I go, what? And I go, really? But yeah. And when I'm sitting there, what's this writing on the wall right there across? It's in Latin. And then he deciphers it in Latin. This is to the devil. He's praying to the devil while he's sitting on the toilet. I go, oh my God, like, wow. True story that he got into that.
wow.
And yeah, right? So I said, that's it. You're done. So I had to get a cleaning crew, get everything cleaned out, just, smudge it, whatever, just to get that whole vibe out of there. And we, I sold the home later on down the road, got it out of there. Took a break, and Cliff started getting in trouble. This is where it gets crazy. And, I didn't know this about Cliff, but Chris, he's had a past probably at least 3 times previously being in prison. One time, he was in Falls of prison, and guess who was next to him? Charles Manson.
Oh my goodness.
Now, we're going to go a little bit about this. Now, remember Sharon Stone? Yeah. And then there's another one that also that was involved with Charles Manson. And Clint told me one time when he was in prison, Charles Manson said, "I almost got you, Morrison." But I did a little research on Charles Manson. Yeah, he did love Jim Morrison. He did play the guitar. Charles Manson would also sing and do all that stuff. But Clint's mother also kind of looked like this one individual that he was also going after. And he took kind of interest in her and Clint. So it was kind of a weird story. That's mentioned in the book too. Yeah. But
Dang.
right. So no, it's pretty crazy. And then back to Cliff, he gets arrested again. This time it's down in San Bernardino. And he once again went to 3 in the morning, going to like a 7-Eleven store with a rubber gun and a mask. Walking in there, this other girl that he was with, they're kind of, I don't know, they're on drugs, but they had the munchies. So he goes there, "I ain't got no money, hon, but I want to go rob this store and get us some donuts." So he goes in there, pulls the rubber gun out, hits a bag of donuts, it's back in the car, takes off. But then the attendant calls the police, and then there's this massive police chase scene. It's crazy. Like 20, at least 25 cars, helicopter, all that stuff just for a bag of donuts. Yeah, you're up for sure. And then he jumps out of the car. They tased him. At least 20 times they tased him. Oh, they brought him finally down, and they got him from away. And I really didn't know anything about this for a few weeks. And then I get the phone call, and it's Cliff in jail. "Hey, I need some help, man. Can you come down here and visit me?" I go, "Where you at?" He goes, "I'm here in San Bernardino jail." I go, "All right." So I put on my suit and tie, come down there. Everybody was nice. I was formal and was at the right part. Walking in, never been in the jail system before like that. Walking down corridors, cells, and all that. Finally, I get to this right cell block. I look, I go, "I guess this is where I'm supposed to go." Walk up to the plexiglass window. I look down, there's a staircase down below. I see the sheriff's down below. He's working the controls, the let the buttons, all that airlocks out. Here comes Cliff up the stairs, comes up to the front, pick up the phone, we're talking. I go, "What happened to you?" They kind of told me this the story and give me some money to put on the books so I can eat. I said, "Yeah, okay." So I did, and then, all right, well, then, I got Matthew Mellon helping me out with my attorney. "Oh, really?" Which, yeah, I said, "Okay." So, all right, just keep me informed, let me know what's going on. And then later on, I get a call from Matthew Mellon. Now, Matthew Mellon comes from New York City, a really well-to-do family from LSA, billionaire. Matthew was a co-founder of Jimmy Choo for the shoe wear. Aries
Wow.
in. So, and Matthew was huge. I mean, with him and Cliff go way back into the book. They go way back in time. Where they used to party all the time down there at Hollywood and the clubs. Cliff would be with River Phoenix, be with Billy Worth, another famous actor. That was their little social club. And these guys be hanging out partying. And Matthew loved Jim and Cliff and loved his music and also participating in writing songs, all that kind of stuff with Cliff. He just wanted to be a groupie and hang out. Matthew would take Cliff into these bank vaults. True story. They'd be sitting on a case of money, or, stacks of money. They're both through cocaine on these stacks of money to knock it out the storm. What a scene is that?
Oh my gosh.
Right? Because he's just like, "Oh my God, okay, that's one scene." They were like, "Wow, these guys are doing it up." So, anyway, back to it. I heard a lot of stories, but I didn't know it that well. But I was kind of informed later on down the road when I was getting ready to writing a book and stuff. But this was kind of fulsome. And then from there was that Matthew Mellon. Yeah, he put up, I think, like $80,000 for the attorney to represent Cliff. And so I didn't go to any of the court proceedings at the time in San Bernardino, but I did have the DA call me up and ask me if I wanted to come down represent that part of it. I said, well, you can call me, anytime. I have no problem with it. But are you guys going to kind of take a look and see if he is Jim Morrison's son? She goes, well, we're not here for that. This is his fourth strike. I go, what? She goes, yeah, this is his fourth strike. I said, I wasn't aware of that at all. She goes, oh, yeah, well, he's looking at life. I go, oh, my God. So, wow, just for this, same stupid stuff. So I said, all right. And then I got a call from Matthew Mellon. And he goes, yeah, Floyd, I heard this attorney has spent 80 grand. I'm going to handle this, all that. I said, okay, no problem. Just keep me informed what's going on. I said, I'm going to try to stay away from those court proceedings. So he goes, okay. So I did. And then Cliff went in touch and did the insanity plea, the first one. So from there, they take it to the state mental hospital, had him evaluated for roughly 4 months. They had him on lockdown. And then from there, he got back into the court system. And again, plea bargaining and all that. All right, back to the state mental hospital again for another evaluation. Well, I believe finally the judge and everybody had enough of it. And he came back out of it. He did, all right, let's plea bargain. We're going to give you 10 years instead of life. It's okay, I'll take it. They gave him 10 years. So there he goes. He's on his way. And, well, all this was going on, Chris. Now, I never talked about this woman. Her name's Lisa Walsh. Very important to the story. She was married also, living in New Jersey. And back in the day when MySpace was involved, when her got together via MySpace before Facebook or any of that stuff. And so she was married, had 2 kids, 2 boys, I would say, and her husband. And she told her husband that she's going to go out to LA, be an assistant for Cliff Morrison, and the husband lets that so. Like, okay, go ahead. 90% would not let my wife go. Well, she flew out. He picked her up, LAX, brought her home, and then they had a love affair between the two of them. She wound up getting pregnant. And so the story in that is also mentioned, but she flies back home to New Jersey. This is crazy. And the husband thinks that, okay, my wife's back, and, we're good and stuff, and being intimacy and all that. But from there, though, she's pregnant, and he thinks that's his kid. Yeah, Chris. So this goes on for a while. She's calling me up, checking me out, making sure it's good. Yeah, I'm contacting Cliff, he'll call me off that damn phone, got a call from the prison saying, I'll be something. Take it in. Cliff also mentioned about how's Lisa doing and all that stuff, but that part where now Lisa's at the hospital, she's about ready to have this baby. And they had to give her a C-section, open her up, and her I guess a lot of her intestines were pushed on the side on the table. Grab the baby, and her husband comes walking in, and she's still kind of like, whoa, She kind of confesses and tells him that this ain't your baby. This is Cliff Morrison's baby. He just drops the flowers, throws them on the floor, walks out. It's like, oh my God. And she gets all stitched up and all that. Time goes by and she wants to come back home. My husband says, you're done. We can come back around here. And he's kind of like homeless. So she's kind of going through with her life, having a baby with her. And what happened? That little girl, they named her after Jim Morrison's mom, Laura, on a birth certificate, Clara Morrison. So what a story is that, Chris?
Wow.
Right now, it gets to that point where there's a point that we're, okay, now this is getting really kind of crazy of a story now. We got a woman and a child and, all this going, detailing it with, Jim Morrison and all that. Alan Graham, he tied to this, Jim's brother. how it's to me, it just would be like it's all this is happening. And so, at one time though, Cliff, he was able to get out at one time for a while. He back to San Junto there with Lisa. There, they both drove off and they went to go visit them. And so, Telegram was there, and he lied with that clip. Cliff like, oh, my grandpa see his granddaughter. And I just kind of opened the door, and there was out on his right, Clara, and he said, come on in. And Lisa, the big, after walking into the Apple's home or island. So, you claim to be my son? Well, yeah, Grandpa, and he goes, well, back in the day, what was it? Robbie Krieger from the Doors took Morrison over to the doctor in Hollywood, that where Jim Morrison also used to go attend to this physician and do the blood work, and supposedly did the blood work there, but they didn't contest it or say anything about it. So this was the results I had with blood tests, but the DNA part didn't do that. They should have, but they didn't. So what I was told was one of the band members was there also, and he stated that's with the Adderall stuff that, all right, he was there for a witness and told me, yeah, okay, the Adderall had to come in. But he asked Clint, I don't want you to go down this path as your father did. College and learn something else besides just music. But you see what happened to your father, and everything was like crazy. But he said, no, I love doing music, Grandpa. This is what I want to do. And so the Adderall decided, okay, son, well then, you're done. We're not going to say you're not or is, we're going to put you in limbo. Which they did. So, yeah, they didn't deny him. I mean, he was able to go in there with the baby and all that, and so that was kind of where what that happened. And then they came back, and then from there, and then Cliff had to go back into prison. He used to stay back with Clara, and then from there, it was like the other art where everybody kind of like was wondering, what are we going to do with Clara and Lisa? And Lisa decided, well, I'm going to go fly back into New Jersey, go stay with this other big people. What she did. Took Clara with her and stayed there with her for a while. Again, she comes back to LA. And then from there, yeah, she's hanging out stuff. And then another part of the story, Chris, we've got so many subjects to talk on, but we're going to talk about the kidnapping now. This is true. Now, Cliff's stepmother, at the time she was presented to me as the mom, but she really wasn't the mom. Everybody wants to know who played Morrison's father. That's kind of the worldwide thing. The sense is that, well, Jim Morrison, over 20 fraternity suits that the Morrison estate all named Cliff Morrison has been the closest one to identify as Jim's son. But the fan base worldwide always say, well, look, come on, man, Jim Morrison. He had all kinds of groupies and love affairs and all that stuff. So we know there's children lying around out there from death. So that's for sure. It's just like, okay, well, that's where that came about. So back to it was like, all right, the kidnapping part was brought on by Lorraine. Lisa was staying at a friend's house up the valley, and she became good friends with Lorraine. And so Lorraine decided to take Clara away from Lisa. She thought that Lisa wasn't a good mother. It's not good, Chris, what happened to this one here. So the friend she was staying with, I can't mention her name, they decided to give her something for poisoning her and make her start vomiting and get sick. And they wanted an emergency to take her to the hospital, which they did. They left Clara with this other individual woman. Lorraine came in, drove all the way up there, grabbed Clara, and bring her back to the house. So Lisa gets out of the hospital. From there, she's going, "Where's my baby? What'd you guys do with my baby? Where's Clara at?" And then from there, it was like, Lisa goes, "Oh my God, somebody kidnapped my baby." So when she got a hold of somebody, and it was the FBI. The FBI got involved. For sure,
Oh my
true story.
gosh.
So the FBI flew out of New Jersey in their own private jet, landed over to LA, and Lorraine had Clara for I think about 120 or 190 days, holding on to her. And as the FBI came to the house, found her, and grabbed Clara, I'll tell you about this one, and took her and Lisa back to New Jersey and flew them both back to New Jersey. Why did Lorraine White get any problems with the FBI or arresting or anything? So back in the day, Lorraine Wyden used to work with J. Edgar Hoover as an informant.
Oh man.
And so, yeah, this is true. And so what happened was that she would be the one to infiltrate back in the day, the establishment against the government and all that stuff, the hippie days. So got Janis Joplin, Hendrix, Jim Morrison, all these people going against the government establishment. That's what she was supposed to do to get information. So this was told to me. So personally, I said, all right, I'm going to make a phone call. So I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a captain for LAPD. And I called him up, hey, now, he is my neighborhood. And I said, brother, we grew up together. We went to Mary Star together. And I need to talk to you. So I go down to the house by myself. And I need you to take a look at this person, see if this is true. No problem, Floyd. You want to check it out? A couple of days later, he goes, "Hey, come on back down. I also want to talk to you." I say, "What's up, bro?" "You're right, man. Right. I could not open her shut Odessa, but the FBI and CIA with red flags that you can't open."
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
oh shit! So this is the real stuff that she's involved in. So that validated that whole story about her and why she didn't get in trouble or why the FBI or anybody didn't press charges or anything on her. So she got away with it. So at the time, she portrayed herself to be her Chris mom, which is a lie to me, which I didn't know. Later on down the road, I found out, oh, that's his stepmom. And then, like, back to the story of who is his mother. And so back in 2008, we did a phone call, and it's Pamela Corson, which is Jim's girlfriend, one of his girlfriends. You had her, and you had the Lizard Queen, Patricia Keneally, out of New York. She's dead now. Some of them well dead, but uh, Pamela Corson's mom, her name's Pearl. She called the office and wanted to know why Cliff. How's he doing? Out on the room, like, whoa. And, I always thought to me that Cliff did have that look of Apple because he had the blue eyes, the red hair, her face, the images, everything was just like he has that resemblance of Pam, but the jawline and everything is still like Jim. You know what I mean too. So okay, there is some kind of validation here. Why would this person call? I can't, substantiate this, as far as the DNA thing yet. So Cliff's daughter, 16 now, Clara, and when she's 18, she's going to go after the estate. She wants to know if Jim's her grandpa. That's going to happen here. So in the meantime, it's just like, yeah, we got a love story involved. Cliff in prison, we got a prison life story. We got betrayal that's involved against the band members and myself. And then, so I got a murder mystery that is unbelievable. That's part of the story was that Matthew Mellon came to visit Cliff when he got out of prison. I was 5 years ago, somewhere around there. And he picked up Cliff off the freeway. And Matthew has his own entourage of bodyguards. He always goes like that. And so he met Cliff, and picked them up, took them to Hollywood Hills, to the Palace. Down below is his own recording studio. Matthew says, yeah, you start recording, get back into music and stuff. And they started partying again, both of them, getting on it, partying and all that stuff. And then from there, uh, Matthew says, I had enough of this. I gotta go to rehab. So he left Claire with there at the mansion. It's on private jet, but he doesn't have his own entourage of bodyguards. He's got a whole new set of crew of bodyguards with him that goes down there. And so he checks into the hotel, and the next day they found him dead. So now Matthew goes back. I kind of told you a little bit about his background, but I never touch bases with Bitcoin. Now Matthew was kind of the founder of Bitcoin that got together with this other individual and started Bitcoin up. Now Matthew now is worth millions and millions of dollars and has, that digital currency. Everybody wants to get that passcode to it, worth millions of dollars. And so I had another friend also that was involved told me that he believes also the same thing that happened because when they found Matthew on the floor, say 6 feet away was a syringe. Supposedly that was heroin, which is not true. And the bodyguards were there, it was not his own crew, they would never let that happen. So the mystery is, did the Russians, somebody put a hit on him, somebody put a hit on Matthew and killed him. And so we all agreed, it's in the book also, that something happened to Matthew, and it was kind of dropped. He had a daughter, and she's on Instagram too. She's kind of a friend of mine. She goes by Minty, a nice little girl and stuff. And they hold it up for Matthew and stuff. But he was part of the story too. And he had a lot to do with influence with Cliff, and back in the day. And the other individual, Billy Worth too. Another close friend with Cliff's, a great actor. Very good. He's been in quite a few films too. Got to talk to Billy once in a while also. So, what else I can tell you is just it just kind of spun out of control, and Clara's okay, Lisa's okay. Everybody kind of came out of this, somewhat over that time frame. Nicole David called me up. She goes, "Lloyd, you need to write a story on it." I go, "You know what? Probably." So I put my retainer lawyer together, got me a WGA writer, created a screenplay, and then from there, we got it on my MTV with our project Morrison Land, few film trailers, screenplay, synopsis, and all that. A year or two later, then I said, you know what, I'm going to write a non-fictional novel, you write a story about this. And that's when I went ahead. It took me a whole year. Cliff was still in prison at the time. So I went ahead and visited Cliff in prison, and I had this agreement drawn up, a true life story rights agreement drawn up. And so I took it into him. The time you're going to still be in prison, I'm going to be putting money on your books so you can eat. So, which I did every month, I put money on his books so he would have good food to eat while I was inside. In return, you're going to sign your true life story rights to me, and we're going to create Morrison Land. Does that sound good, Floyd? Which I did. And so that's how that all developed, was from him going to prison. They would tell me you need to do this, which I did. Then I wrote the non-fictional novel. Took a whole year to get that process. And then finally we got it out, And the estate knows who I am. I have a hard copy letter from the estate at the time. His name was the attorney at the time. Louis Reason was the attorney at the time. But there was a song called that I produced called Liquid Highway. It actually has Jim Morrison's poetry. There's 4 samples on it. The last sample, Jim talks about my boy who one day will fertile. And I said, whoa, okay. So we made a song out of it called Liquid Highway. It sounds really good. before I released the CD, I said, I better get a hold of the estate. So I called Lewis. I go, hey, Lewis, hey, Floyd, hey, how's it going over there? I said, all right. But that's Cliff going. I said, all right. So we're about ready to release this album called Color People. I just finished producing it. And there's a song called Liquid Highway. It's okay, Floyd, send me 3 CDs. And I'll see if I can have this validated for you. So I did one a couple weeks later. I got the hard copy letter from Lewis stating that this is Jim Morrison's poetry. How did you get it? I said, Danny Sugarman, the Doors manager, gave it to Cliff and told him that your father wanted you to have this before I die. And that's how Cliff got it. So we made a song out of it, and they told us that we can't release it. And we did release it. We didn't have no repercussions on that. You know, it was just straight about Cliff and his dad. You know what I mean? So nobody attacked us for it. So the website in itself is being redeveloped as we speak. But ready to publish this here next month. It was the same thing, and, you know, new content, but the image of Jim and Cliff together while their son still stays there, and nobody's ever attacked me for that. You know, from previous years that I've had, the music, nobody's attacked me for it. So I haven't any problems with anybody. As long as it doesn't have anything to touch in with the Doors, that's fine with me. You know, we're doing our own thing, you know, our own music. We love the Doors and their music and stuff. You know, Jim and Cliff, you know, that's a part of something. So that's
Yeah.
where we're at right now. The rest of it was just I'm on the last part for planning for this project. Just more and more of how the industry now is changing and everything's getting into streaming now. But I
Yeah.
do have a lot of content for a major series. This is what I'm pushing for now, is to do this. So this is where I'm at, Chris. Last segment.
That is an amazing story, Floyd.
And I
Holy
didn't touch
cow.
on everything, Chris. I mean, there's so much more to go. I don't want to waste your time. There's so much stuff I
Yeah.
can go back with you on this. You know, it's just, wow. It's just a little bit of info for you.
Yeah, you know what I'd like to do is, yeah, we'll cut it off here, but let's schedule another
Okay.
interview
All right.
because, yeah, there is tons that we didn't even get to.
Oh,
And we'll
you.
just do a follow up in the next issue of the magazine.
All right. That sounds good, Chris, for sure. Let's do it. Let me know
Oh,
when you
man.
want to do it, and I'll prepare some more stuff. And this thing was just kind of off, you know, out of my head, but we'll touch more in the synopsis, and then we'll really get into it, dive into it.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
Well, thank you for your time and appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, Chris, thank you for having me. I can't wait to do it again. And like you said, you get some time, check it out on Apple or the other 2 podcasts, and you'll be able to hear
Yes.
Lisa and Claire talk about, you know, Cliff and Grandpa and all that too. That'd be good.
Yeah, we'll make sure that gets in the show notes.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
All right. You have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for
All
having me on.
right.
All right, Chris.